In 1999, I started a business with no money and no clue. Today, my companies are crushing. I've created the life I've always dreamed of. I enjoy all the toys. I do what I want, when I want, with who I want. But the thing is, there's nothing special about me. I'm just a regular dude, just like you, who loves working on my farm, hanging out with my dogs, and having a few beers with my friends. But most of all, I love helping people succeed in business and in life. This is the Frisella Factor, and this is your show. What's up, guys? Welcome to the very first episode of the Frisella Factor. This is a Q&A show, okay? I get literally tens of thousands of questions from our podcast, the MF CEO Project, and I wanted to build a platform where I could answer those because it's not built into the format of our show. So, this is our solution. You're gonna send us your questions, I'm gonna answer your questions, we're gonna have fun, we're gonna learn a lot, and we're gonna get better on a day-by-day basis. A lot of people who don't listen to the podcast, you might be seeing this for the first time. I have a podcast. It's a top 50 business podcast in the world. It's called the MF CEO Project, all right? It is all based around personal development. The reason we call it the MF CEO Project is because it stands for the motherfucking CEO Project. What does that even mean, right? What is a motherfucking CEO? Well, a motherfucking CEO is someone, and you don't have to be an entrepreneur, by the way. It could be anyone who is willing to take control of their life, who is willing to take responsibility for where they are, and who is willing to move forward with a new confidence, a new swagger, so to speak, and a new ability because you're investing the time in personal development to take control and design the life you want, all right? Who wants to be a boring, stuffy, nerdy CEO anyway, okay? That's not what being a CEO is about. Being a CEO is about handling the situation. It's about taking responsibility, and it's about kicking ass at everything you do. And that's what the podcast's about. It's about personal development. You don't have to be an entrepreneur, like I said. You don't have to actually own a business. What it's more about is about putting the entrepreneurial mindset into practice for you so that you can design the life you want, whether you work somewhere where you're sweeping the floors or cooking French fries, or whether you do own your own business, and everything in between. Okay, the principles of success are consistent across all platforms. Your fitness, your business, your career, okay? How are you gonna go from where you are to where you wanna be? That's what we teach on the MF CEO Project. That's what we're going to talk about here, okay? Now, before we get started, I want you to know that I am highly opposed to everybody's special, everybody wins, everybody gets a trophy for participation. I have made it my personal mission in life to correct the last 25 years of bad parenting strategy. Okay, so if you're a young person, you might not hear some of the shit that your parents tell you, or your teachers tell you, or your guidance counselors tell you here. You might hear the exact opposite, but guess what? What I'm gonna tell you has been the things that have taken me from someone who was literally making $0 to someone who's built 6 companies that do in excess of $200 million a year, okay? We are not where we wanna go. But I am pretty fucking sure that the stuff that I have learned for the last 19 years is gonna help you get where you wanna go too. So, I'm gonna get off my soapbox, let's answer some fucking questions. All right, so Tyler's back there behind the camera. Let's start with the first ever question for Frisella Factor.
All right, first up, we actually have somebody who you used to actually employ. He was in Miami last week too when you were down there. Any guesses who it was?
Dave
Hutchinson.
Yeah.
He's got the very first question of the Frisella Factor, so here it is.
What's up, Andy? One question. What was the one thing that you thought would be a huge deal when you first started in business that over the years turned out not to be that big of a deal? The one thing you thought would have been huge and mattered a lot, but ended up being a minor detail that you put way too much effort into or way too much thought into. Thanks, man.
Dave, Dude, that is a great question. It's interesting that you asked that question because like Tyler said, Dave did used to work for me. His brother, Ian, works for me now and is one of my best guys in our company. The funny thing about Dave, and I'm just gonna be real here, is like Dave was a piece of shit when he worked for us. He was lazy, he was unmotivated, he was somebody who was hard to deal with and hard to manage. And now, a number of years later, he's become a successful entrepreneur. I'm super proud of you, bro. I'm super proud of where you come from and what you've been able to accomplish, just like I'm proud of what Ian's been able to accomplish. With that being said, I think it's cool that you're the first question on the show. And dude, I think it's a great question. I think people who are entrepreneurs, when you're first starting out, the thing for me that was the biggest thing for me to wrap my brain around and try to understand was when it was the right time to bring an employee in, and then also when it was the right time to expand my business. I had a really, really hard time with both of those things. The first thing was, how can I trust an employee to do what the job I would do with the way I would do it? You know, that mentality to me was very hard to get over. And so for a long time, I didn't trust anybody. I didn't trust employees. I didn't trust them to do a good job. And instead of like working with them and trying to show them how to do things and trying to get them to, sort of mold themselves to like as a little mini me of how I would do things, I just told myself they wouldn't be able to do it. And that held me back for a long time. It wasn't until I really just started focusing on, I started trusting people, okay? That's what it comes down to. Most people are good and most people want to do a good job. In the media today and in all the, things that we see out there, we hear about people lazy, people that steal, people that do bad things. And that's like the bottom, 1% of society. The truth of the matter is most people want to do a good job. Most people want to be a part of a team. Most people want to earn more money. And they understand that by doing a great job, they're going to get where they want to go. So I think having a baseline trust in people is a huge deal. That took me, I thought it was a huge deal, but I found out that it wasn't a huge deal after all, because once I started just, instead of like thinking of all the bad shit they could do, I started focusing my efforts on teaching them how to be great. Dude, our company started growing, but that took me like 6 years to understand. So I held myself back from really expanding employee-wise for 6 years because I couldn't get myself to trust other people. And once I did, things started changing. And now, like the people that work for us here in headquarters and the people out there that support our brand and work for us in the retail stores, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, dude, I would trust them with anything. So you have to understand, people are good. And you have to get over the idea that somebody's going to screw you or somebody's going to steal from you or somebody's going to cheat you. And if you think those things, guess what's going to happen? That's what they're going to do. The other part, so this is like a two-part question. The other part of business that I had a huge issue with was when we opened our second location. I thought it was going to be the biggest deal in the world because I knew that meant we were going to have to, and it goes right along with the first part of the question. I knew that meant we were going to have to really trust people. Like, how could I possibly trust someone to go open the store and do all the things that were necessary, like turn on the light and sweep the floor and clean the shelves and do all these things? And like, if you say that out loud, it sounds ridiculous, right? Because they're all basic things. But because my ego felt like I was doing something that was so special, I just didn't think anybody else could do it. So that's part of your ego, man. And you have to let go of your ego. Whatever it is you do for a living, with a very, very few exceptions. And I promise you, if you're watching this, you're not in it, you're not that fucking good at what you do, okay? I'm speaking to myself. I'm not that fucking good at what I do. Not only is it not a big deal what I do, it's I need other people to help me because I don't have all the answers. I don't have all the abilities. I don't have all the skills. And that is hard for some people to admit. Some people, when they own a business, they think that they should know everything, have all the answers, have all the skills, and all you're doing is handcuffing yourself because listen, no matter if you really did have all those skills, which you don't, you only have so much time. So you have to learn to trust people, and you have to let go that you're special and that nobody else can do what you do, because there's a lot of people out there that can do it. Those two things, I think, were my biggest learning lessons in terms of what I thought was going to be a huge deal that I found out was just real easy once I started getting into it. So Tyler, what do we got next?
All right, question number 2 is Angela Barbosa. Here she is.
Hi Andy, my name is Angela Barbosa. I am a new mother and I have just launched my very own company called Just the Mom. I have all of our merchandise ready and good to go. I have our website up and all of that. I just don't know where to begin as far as advertising. Should I start on Instagram? Should I purchase Facebook ads? Where is it that I should begin? Hope you can help me. Thank you.
Angela, I love that question. I think that is the biggest question for brand new business owners, entrepreneurs that they have. Getting to the point where you have product, where you have a website, where you have a brand, and you have all that stuff designed. You're to the point and you're ready to go, but you just don't know where to go. I think this is a great question, and I think a lot of people are going to benefit from the answer of it. So you touched on Facebook ads, okay? As a small business, you cannot afford to do traditional advertising. I know what that's like, okay? You can't pay $400 for radio spots or $700 for a 30-second ad on TV. You just can't, because we don't have the money. I spent a long time getting to that point where I could spend the money on those ads, and you know what? When I did, they worked. But the good news for you is this. You don't need to do that shit anymore, because traditional media, traditional advertising, and the things that people have been doing for the last 70 years are starting to take a back seat, okay? You have to think about who we buy from. Buying habits have always been this way. How do you buy something? You see a dude with new shoes. Let's say he's wearing new Jordans, and you say, "Hey, bro, those fucking Jordans are sick." And he's like, "Yeah, dude, they are. I love them, blah, blah, blah. Where'd you get them?" "Oh, I got them at Finish Line." And then you go buy them. And that's how we buy, okay? It's word of mouth. The idea of advertising is to catch the low-hanging fruit. And what I'm getting at here is that your first line of business would be to let every single person you know through your social channels, by a phone call, text message, literally every person you know. You need to let them know what you're doing, okay? Let them know what you do, and let them know what products you offer and what solution you're offering, all right? Those people are going to be the foundation for your first set of growing the business, all right? For example, for me, when I did this, I didn't have money to advertise when we first started our company, so I went door to door through Springfield, Missouri, introducing myself, shaking hands, having conversations, literally every day for like 3 years, okay? By the end of those 3 years, I knew everybody. Now, I don't expect you to go door to door, but what I do expect you to do is to have real conversations with people online, all right? When you DM them and tell them about the product, or send them a handwritten, this is what I do type card to their house, this, that, this. You're gonna follow up with them, and you're gonna say, I know you might not need my service right now, but I'm here when you're ready. If you know anybody, I would really appreciate it, because I'm working hard to get this off the ground, blah, 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 blah. So you need to leverage your personal relationships first. Second, you mentioned it inside your video, you talked about Facebook ads. Facebook ads are awesome because Facebook ads allow you to narrow down to the most minute audience. They're very cost effective. They're so underpriced right now, and you can get a lot of bang for your buck if your ads are written properly, produced properly, and get people to convert over to your website. And then, this is a whole new different thing. Your website has to be written properly, produced properly, blah, 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 and get people to buy. But the biggest thing is this that I will say as a warning, and this is where people really drop the ball, okay? They start a business, they get a website, they get a logo, they get a product, they're ready to go. They automatically, and this is why I suggest your personal relationships first, they automatically jump into some sort of heavy Facebook campaign, or they go out and do influencer marketing, and they get a ton of people looking at their company. Well, let me tell you something about every single business on earth. When you first start, you're gonna screw up, okay? You're going to miss certain things that you didn't see during the creation process, and your customers coming in are going to expose those shortcomings. You're going to have issues with fulfillment. You're going to have issues with your product. You're going to have issues with the experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You want those issues to happen really fast, and you want them corrected really fast. Because if you go out there with those issues and you heavily advertise, all you're doing is quickening the demise of your business, because your model isn't producing a great experience. It's not producing great word of mouth. It's not creating referrals, which are all necessary for a small business to maintain and grow, okay? We live in an amazing age where people can share a great experience or a great product with people from all over the world with the click of a mouse. We've never been able to do that before. So keep that in mind, because while that is a tremendous power, all tremendous power comes with tremendous responsibility. And the responsibility to yourself is that your business from A to Z, not just the product, but the branding, the copywriting, the content, the service, the follow-up has to be perfect, so that when those people get done with the experience, they say, holy shit, that was the best customer experience I've ever had. And they go and make a fucking post, or they go and tell their friends at the party Friday night, okay? You've got to make sure you capitalize on the word of mouth, and the way you do it is by creating a great model and then pouring gas on the fire with Facebook ads, influencer marketing, YouTube ads, YouTube content, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Because if you pour gas on the fire before it's ready to burn, guess what's going to happen? It's going to go out, all right? People aren't going to come back. They're going to spread negative word of mouth. They're going to say, you only get one shot. They're going to say, I'm not interested in doing business with them again. That's why whenever you see retail stores who have been at a certain place for a long time and they start having bad service, that you'll see them post a banner that says under new ownership. And what do you see? You see the business go out of business in the next 6 months anyway. Why is that? Because that physical location is stigmatized from poor service and poor experience. Think about it. You've seen this. You've gone into a restaurant and had a terrible experience, and then you see under new management. Did you go back in the restaurant? Fuck no, you didn't, because you had a terrible experience the first time. The new people could have great intentions, but you're never gonna give them another chance, all right? Same thing can happen with your business. So make sure you work with your don't get ahead of yourself. Be patient, leverage your personal contacts first, use them as the guinea pig to test. When you're confident that you're providing an amazing experience, not just because your friends and family say so, but because you fucking really are, then you're ready to start looking at Facebook ads, YouTube content, leveraging social media, podcasts, blah, 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 all the shit that you can do, okay? So try that. Let me know how it works. I know it's gonna work. And make sure that you understand this is gonna take time. All right, Tyler, so what do we got for question number 3?
All right, so question number 3, I was actually hesitant to bring you this one. I didn't know if the dude was like trolling you or whatever, but I think his heart's in the right place. So this one's from Eves Bellinger.
Andy, quick question. How does it feel now to have a bankroll, pair of guns all fucking tatted out to supercars, beautiful wife, and the life of Riley before you were Joe fucking Blow jerking off?
Hey, let's be real, man. The only thing that changed from when I was Joe Blow jerking off is that now I'm jerking off in a bigger fucking house, all right? So, I don't even know if I should take this seriously, but I'm gonna answer it seriously. Look, dude, I'm the same guy I was when I was fucking back then. That's why I like to do this content. I've learned how to design my life. I've learned how to build my life. I've learned what it really takes. And I take extreme pride in sharing that information, because I feel like my purpose is much bigger than making some money and doing some cool shit. I grew up in a situation where I was very fortunate to have people around me that I could observe that were successful. I had a dad who was an entrepreneur who was able to coach me through a lot of shit. And I realized that a lot of people didn't have that advantage, and a lot of people are getting told the wrong things, and a lot of people are listening to false mentors. I mean, look at the fucking internet right now. All you gotta do is go stand in front of a private jet and throw some fucking money in the air and you're a mentor. You don't have to be proven. And I don't think that's right. You know, it bothers me to my core. It's not what I'm about, and I feel like something needs to be done. So, you know, as funny as the question was, the truth of it is, man, is that I'm no different. I'm still the same dude. I'm just somebody who understands how to make the process and the universe and the world work for me now versus what I did, you know, when I was 25 years old. So that's the reason we do this show. That's the reason we do the podcast. That's the reason I spend so much time and resources doing this for you guys, is because I care and I want you guys to win, and I want you guys to be able to experience the wins and the confidence and the belief and the overall lifestyle that comes with taking control of who the fuck you are. So guys, that was the very first episode of the Frisella Factor. Sometimes we'll do 5 questions, sometimes we'll do 3, I don't know, because we're playing it as we go. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, to be honest. So it's just a testament that when you gotta do shit, guess what? You just go do it, all right? I want to answer your questions. I want to help you. I want to help you win no matter what area. If you have a question about cars, if you have a question about lifestyle, if you have a question about dating or whatever, man, whatever I can help you with, fitness, obviously success and money and becoming a fucking baller is the focus of the show, but ask me whatever you want because I want to help you guys more than anything. So guys, send your questions to askthemfceo.com. Make a video, put your fucking camera like this, ask me the question, and submit it. 25 seconds or less. All right, guys? That's the first show. Thank you for watching. Tell your fucking friends. And until then, keep dominating. Keep living that 100-0 lifestyle. Keep running up the fucking score. And make sure you subscribe. See you next time.